guys, hopefully y'all can hear me because my AC is on, and hopefully the lighting isn't weird because I know I'm being backlit right now by my window. But I wanted to do something different for this video. I feel like my other videos have felt kind of like random in a sense because they don't really correlate. So in this video, can y'all hear my ice maker? Anyway, ignore that. I feel like for this video I want to share a little bit about myself, but I'm not gonna do like a Q&A or like fact or fiction or anything like that. I'm simply gonna show some of my writing, and I never show my writing to anybody, like anybody, like nobody ever sees my writing. So I kind of just wanted to be a little bit more myself on my channel, whatever that may be today, because I feel like, you know, my mood, my personality can change day to day depending on how like I'm feeling that day, how I woke up, what I have to expect that day. Today I was actually gonna go to the film lab. I was gonna go there today because I thought today was Tuesday, but it's Monday and they're closed on Mondays. So I'm here instead. I got like ready, did my hair and my makeup. I have my jewelry on, so I was like, fuck it, let me just share a little piece of myself online, because that's what this channel is. This is a piece of myself. This is so I can look back at it when I'm old, like whatever that age may be, whenever I decide to look back at it, and I can say that I was myself and that this was a reflection of who I am. Right now I'm gonna just show you some entries that really have been resonating with me, and we're gonna see if it resonates with you too. And if it does, I encourage you to let me know down below in the comments what spoke to you, what stood out to you, things that you want to hear me elaborate on. Like, that's fun as fuck for me, so just let me know. I'm really sorry if the lighting keeps changing. This is the best setup I could do. I'm literally on my iPhone right now. Stick around. This is Sandworm Files. I'm Marie, Sandworm Online, I guess. I know it sounds kind of gross, but what can I say? I love Beetlejuice, and that's that. But also fuck Tim Burton. Low-key, it is what it is. Okay, I'll be back. So I have some notebooks. I have this one, which is newer. This one I've been barely starting to use. This is ideas that I have for my channel, and it's also my opinions on characters of Gilmore Girls, because if you're a Gilmore Girls watcher, you know that Netflix is removing all of the seasons except for the revival on June 30th. Luckily, I'm already on the last season, and I've rewatched it like more times than I can count on both my hands. But as I was watching it, I started to really analyze these characters, and I was like, wow, I don't think I like the main characters. I don't think I like Lorelai and Rory Gilmore. Next, I have this little journal that I completely filled up. I got this at a bookstore in West Hollywood. I think it's called Book Soup, but I love Alice in Wonderland, and this is some of the original artwork and a little excerpt from it, and then I also like glued this onto there. I love the size of this journal. It fits everywhere. Like, if I wanted to, I could carry this in my pocket because I'd be wearing big ass jeans. It's just perfect. Like, it even came with this like little ribbon, and then I have some stickers, some old stickers from my job from past collaborations. I also glued this in there. I'm really fascinated by gardens, and not even just because they look pretty, but because gardens are literally little worlds, or not even little, they're huge worlds for things that we cannot see, like microorganisms, bacteria, little insects, birds, you know. We really don't know what goes on in them, and I love to think about my mind being a garden that I'm constantly having to water and take care of. A garden that is filled with wild flowers, you know, those are my wild thoughts. And beautiful flowers, you know, the thoughts that I share with the world, the love I give to the people I care about. And so that's why this is like my garden, this little book right here. And I have songs in here, I have poems, I have just trains of thought. I have letters to my guardian angels who are not here anymore. May they rest in peace. But yeah, so that's in this one. This is like a paperback journal. I got this at the mall from some store. I forget what it's called actually. Moleskine. This is a Moleskine book, Moleskine journal. This came in a pack of 3 and they were on sale for like 20 bucks, and I needed it because I go through my journals pretty quick. Or what I do is I use a journal up until I feel like there's so much energy in it and I need to let it go. I need to get rid of it. So I start a new journal. I do keep those journals and sometimes I'll go back to them. Like, I'm constantly going back to my journals and I'm constantly taking inspiration from them and including those past ideas into new ideas. So I never really get rid of them. I just stop writing in them once I feel like it's become so draining, because I'm a strong believer that things that are not living have energy, because we have energy and we give that energy to them and we give them life. That can be clothes, that can be my sagging couch because we love to chill there, that can be plushies that I sleep with at night to comfort me, that can be lighting a candle and hoping that it changes my mood and uplifts my space. It can mean a lot of different things. And so that's why I have a rotation of journals and I have different journals. Written language is so beautiful, and you know, I don't write with pencil. I love a pen to paper because it's okay to make mistakes. We're humans, and human error is so beautiful. I was literally talking about this with my friend yesterday. Human error is so beautiful, and we are living in an age where error is not wanted. Like, nobody wants to fuck up anymore, and I feel like that is so dishonest and it's not true to your character or who you are, because nobody is perfect. Like, at your core you are imperfect, and I think that's beautiful. Sometimes I do want my work to look a little more pristine and, you know, in this nice little box, and so that's when I type it all out and I digitize it. I use Google Docs. I try to use different apps, but I feel like I'm more familiar with Google Docs and I like having access to it at all times. So that's what this is for. Unfortunately, we do live in a digital age, and I kind of have to make sure that my art is keeping in check with that, because I don't want to lose my shit. I have my bag of journals. My mom gave me this a couple years ago, and I used to keep my old laptop in here, but I repurposed it and now I have all my journals in here, or majority. This isn't even all of them, to be honest with you. I'm pretty sure I have some in storage because I moved recently. These are like for my photos, just protective covers. This is a little journal. I'm thinking of turning this into like a mini scrapbook, just filled with like clippings of photos and magazine clippings, because there's lots of pockets. So I might do that. This is the journal I was talking about that I DIY'd the little ribbon. Actually, no, it's not. Where is that journal? I don't know where that journal is, y'all. That's actually making me kind of sad. She'll come. She'll turn up. I'm a real big believer that if you lose something, it's for a reason, and it just wasn't serving you right now, and the universe will bring it back into your life when you need it most. I think that way with crystals, and I think that way with my journals. So she's gonna pop up and I'll look at her later. But I also DIY'd this one. I added a liga, which is a hair tie, to close it, because I love when I can have a journal closed, because I don't like the pages to like fold up and like it gets gross. Like, I don't like when this lifts. It doesn't do that no more because I got this thing. Well, I stapled it, which I didn't do well. Oh yeah, this is from my first tarot card deck. I thought she looked hella gangster. Hella gangster Marilyn. This is the front of it. I just put a bunch of stickers that I had because I'm trying to use my stickers more. These are some old Hello Kitty stickers from the 2000s. And then some of them are newer. But yeah. And then right here, it says sandworm. I guess I can show y'all what's in this. I didn't really use this one too much. I have more stuff in here. These are like little notes to myself. I had this extra like little baggie and I didn't want to toss it because I felt like that was wasteful, so I glued it onto here and I'm using it as love notes for myself, or for my future self. Oh, that's so sweet. Well, I guess it's the future. I should look at one, right? We're gonna see what past me had to say to current me, and I'm just gonna pull one randomly. Oh, there's fortune cookie shits in here. So this one says, the sky's the limit. The sky is not the limit, baby, because there's more past the sky, but valid. A tempting proposal will soon present itself. We're gonna see what this might be. I'm not really one to be allured by temptation. That is of the enemy, and you know, it's really hard for me to make my mind up. So we're gonna see what proposal that is. I'm putting that back in there for later. Wow, this is crazy. This is from December of last year. I'm just gonna read this out loud because I wrote it very neatly, which tells me that I was in my I need to be perfect stage of writing, where I'm like, if somebody finds this and they read it, like, it needs to be well read, like, they need to be able, it needs to be legible, they need to be able to read it, whatever. I'm gonna read it now real quick. If I were to write a book, the following would be considered, or might even be, a monologue. Maybe I'm actually writing a movie. That's another thing. I like to develop characters. I call them character studies, which is pretty, you know, common with writers, I feel, especially writers who love film. Let me show you something. Girl, I had to move these to film the video because you're right here. And there's more there. So I would say, yeah, I love film and I love to develop characters and I love to call them character studies. I have a bunch of them. I like to make up their lives and little stories and quirks about them, things they would say, things they would think. And they are all expressions of me. They are literally me because they come from my head. So I'm gonna go ahead and read y'all the monologue I created here. Maybe I'm actually writing a movie, but at least I'm writing at all. I never had a dream job, but surely this might be it. I'll only do it when I want to, or more so have to, when the thoughts in my head become too much to bear and louder than the noise that surrounds me. This is simply an extension of who I am. Like a knight with his sword, I am simply a page with a pen, ink and a wall. Ink and a well? Bitch, what'd I say? Ink and a will, I think. Like a will to do this. I don't know what I'm saying. That's the beauty of looking back at your writing, because it's like, what was she saying? Like a knight with his sword, I am simply a page with a pen, ink and a well. This is what reminds me I am alive. A living, breathing specimen with every thought to transform into words and profess stories of love and loneliness. The only thing I will never have enough of is time. I'll try to catch it anyway. And then I have these little spirals, and sometimes I do spirals to kind of show like a break or like a pause and continuation, and I think that's what I did here. So I think this is where the monologue starts, so get into the mood with me, okay? It keeps flying over my head. Time. We've so little of it. Ever fleeting. Always moving and changing. Although no physicality, always changing shape, size, and color. If only I could bend it just a tad, I wouldn't be sitting here now. I'd probably choose to be at home. Most people might choose to be 10 years into the future, or perhaps to use teleportation to head to a different and new place or country. But I would choose to go home. Where might I end up? I've had several different homes, some farther than others, all with me keeping myself afloat, despite what others thought. Others always overestimated their helping hand in my life. Selfish. I don't think about that much now. Too much growth has taken place since then. I'm out of touch with the person I used to be. Even if her memory seems all too familiar, I know she won't come back and stay. She is a figment, a passing, moving image. This is beautiful, sorry. Even if her memory seems all too familiar, I know she won't come back and stay. She is a figment, a passing, moving image of beautiful errors and misconceptions, except they were only beautiful because she made them that way. Yeah. Write shit down. Write what you are thinking down. This was December 1st, 2025. Write what you are thinking down, because you're gonna look back at it and thank yourself, because this is very inspiring, because I am sitting in the living room of my home. I'm gonna cry. Like, I'm literally sitting in the living room of my home. I never had my own home. I always slept on somebody's couch or someone else's bed or on the floor. Like, I had a bed and then my stepmom got rid of that shit to make room for her kid's bed. Like, I was sleeping on a mattress on the floor, and then she kicked me out. Like, so it's a lot that goes into this writing shit. Like, it's a lot of feelings, it's a lot of emotions, and it's beautiful. Even here, I'm talking about human error. That's beautiful. I feel like that's good to end on with this one, because I don't know how I'm gonna top myself, and I'm scared to see what else is in here because I think I'm gonna cry. So we're gonna move on to one of my oldest books. This was given to me when I used to work for Woodcraft Rangers, which is an after-school program. I was low-key in my teacher era, okay? And this was given to me there. I put this sticker. I got this when I got, like, I don't know, when I picked up at the shop or something, at the weed shop. I got this sticker and I put her there. These are stickers that an old friend gave me. You can't really see it, but this is Sandworm, kind of like the other notebook I showed y'all. This is Sandworm, and then this is Marie. I've been really using that name for like a while now. I'm just gonna pick a page and land on it. Oh, this is a self-reading. How fun. This is a tarot reading. I'm not gonna read that though, because I'm not in that mindset. That was more just like note-taking. I want to read you like a piece, you know? I used to use this a lot for manifesting, so that's probably all that is here. Oh, I found one. This one I think I actually have online on my page somewhere. It's in Spanish. I know how to speak Spanish conversationally, but I was actually talking about this with my friend. I feel like I lost that tongue a little bit, and that is the mother tongue. That is the language that I grew up speaking with my grandparents who raised me, with my parents when they were mad at me, and I used it a lot, and now I don't, because I'm not surrounded by them every day. And so now I write in Spanish, and I write music in Spanish and just poems in Spanish. I love to write in Spanish. I just wish I could speak it the way I write it. I get really nervous, especially when I'm speaking to a fluent Spanish speaker, and I'm like, ah, shit, like, I gotta prove myself, you know? But this is a piece that I wrote in Spanish, and I'm gonna share that with y'all. Excuse me if it doesn't sound proper. I simply don't care. This is how I am reading it, okay? This is from August 8th, 2025. So coming up on a year almost. And it goes... Llorando, me la paso llorando, recordándome de ti. Me recuerdo de tu caballo de color oscuro, nunca lo dejaste. El aire y las voces de afuera me hacen pensar en ti. Vives en mis pensamientos, aunque no fuises hombre de valor. Hiciste que mi mamá escondiera, nunca te lo perdoné. La perdiste y nunca fue culpa mía. Nomás no la amaste como ella quería. La culpa fue tuya y el juego también lo perdiste. So, I know it was kind of hard to understand, so I'm going to put that here. I know I'm working on my Spanish, okay? I feel like it comes and it goes, and it sounds good when it wants to. It is what it is. That's life. That is what it is to be Mexican American, to be a Chicana. Like, it is what it is, and I'm not sorry about it, you know? I can still read it and write it, period. But this is a letter to my dad. This is actually a letter to my dad, and my grandpa rolled in one. The first half about the horse, El Caballo Oscuro, that's my grandpa's horse. He passed away. Oh, can y'all hear my neighbors in the trash can? It's rude. I'll wait. So this first half is actually about my grandpa, my mom's dad. He passed away from COVID, I want to say 2024 or 2023. It might have been even 2022. I'm really fuzzy with those details. I don't remember that part of my life a lot. It was a really dark time in my life just because of other factors going on. I wasn't really close with my grandpa, unfortunately, and this is my opinion, so if any of my family members are watching this, he was not the nicest man. Like, he treated the women in my family, especially my mom, kind of like shit when they were growing up. But there are some pieces of that part. There are some pieces of him that I remember and I cherish, because, like I said earlier, people make mistakes. but sometimes the mistakes you make you can't come from and can't be forgiven. And so that's that. But I wrote of his horse. He is a caballero, or he was a caballero in Zacatecas. He owns land there, or he owned land. My family still has a home there, and he kind of helped create the town that he lives in. He gave a lot to them. I just wish he also took that love for his town and gave it right back to his family here in the States. But you know, I feel like that's a tale as old as time that a lot of other people can relate to. What I remember a lot about him is he had a journal as well. It was kind of, I think it was brown, I want to say, or it was like a blue spiral notebook, like one or the other. He probably had two. But he used to write songs. He was a singer and he had a guitar. He played guitar. He wrote rancheras, if I think that's how you say it, rancheras. And he was really talented and he was really inspiring. And now that I'm looking back at that point in my life, I want to say he inspired me to write music. As shitty as a person as he could have been, something beautiful came from it, and that was music. And I think that's awesome, because music always acts like a band-aid for shitty situations. So that first part was about him. And my mom, she had me young. She got pregnant at 15, had me at 16. It's right here, it says, hiciste que mi mamá escondiera. You made my mom hide. Like, you made it so she had to hide. And she ended up running away, and you know, she lived with my dad and the family that I'm closest to now. And so I feel like he's to blame for that. You know, a man is always at the scene of the crime. Then the second part of this is for my dad, because he was not a great husband and most of the time not a great dad. I think he tried to rectify his mistakes and, you know, change shit and learn from it. But, you know, sometimes you gotta take things at surface value. And sometimes a person can only change as much as they want to. When I say no la amaste como ella quería, you didn't show her the love that she wanted you to. You didn't love her the way she needed you to, and that's why you lost her. La culpa fue tuya, el juego también lo perdiste. The fault was yours, you also lost the game, because he lost her. So that's that. I think that's enough with this journal, because I forgot how dark how dark it is here. Yeah, girl, Sandworm Files is basically a collection of my thoughts, and that includes dark ones like the ones that live here. We're gonna go into my Digi journal. This is from one of my favorite movies ever. Okay, let me show you how pretty it is. Kiki's Delivery Service, which I also have on DVD now. Thank you. This one, I called it Ramblings from the Moon. I resonate with the moon so much. The moon means a lot to me as a water sign. Any other water signs can agree. The moon controls the tide and the ocean and emotions, and that's why, oh my god, we just had like a full moon yesterday, and I think it was in Capricorn. I'm a Capricorn moon. Oh shit. Y'all, I was meant to record this video and talk to you guys like this. But the moon represents a lot to me, because no matter, I'm gonna cry, oh my god, I'm not gonna cry on YouTube, bitch, that's not what this video is. No matter how many homes I had, and you know, the times that I didn't have a home and people were lending theirs to me, the moon was always there. I'm gonna cry. The moon was always there, and she watched me. And yes, the moon is a woman, okay? She's not a man. There's no man on the moon type shit. If he is on the moon, he better leave her alone, okay? The moon is a woman. The moon controls emotions. And I feel that although the stereotype is that women are emotional and whatever, blah, 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 that bullshit, I feel like at our core, women are in touch with their emotions, and that is why I feel like people say women are too emotional. We're not, okay? We just know what we feel and who we are, and people are mad about that, people being men, and that's their issue to deal with. So this one is Ramblings from the Moon, because I used to imagine, I'm really gonna cry, this is when I was living in Inglewood with my mom and my sisters and my brother. I used to go outside for smoke breaks. Sorry, Mom, if you're seeing this. I used to go outside for smoke breaks and stare at the moon, because we always had a good, beautiful view of the night sky. And a lot of the times I was blessed with beautiful sightings of the moon when she was at her fullest, and when she wasn't, she was there for me. And I used to go and I used to imagine that I was on the moon and I was writing in my journal and the moon was listening to me. I just always wanted to be listened to. And I think a lot of the time growing up, I was very angry, including if people from high school are seeing this. I was angry and I had shit to say and people were mad about it. But that's because I wanted to be listened to. I wanted people to hear me. And, you know, being from South Central, being a woman in South Central, being a Mexican American woman in America, it's really hard to be listened to, or to even feel like you're truly being listened to. And so the moon was always there for me, no matter where I was, no matter where I was living, where I wasn't living, if I was feeling happy or sad or mad or just pissed off at everybody, the moon was always there and she took care of me. And so these are ramblings from the moon. I never finished this journal because honestly I think it was too precious to me, because look how pretty it is. And there's like little pictures on each page from the movie. Look at Kiki. That's my girl. She's a witch. She just like me. I'm gonna read something from here. I didn't really want to use this journal too much because she's so beautiful and the pages are so nice and thick. I just was always worried. Oh, this is the one I DIY'd, you guys. I was always worried that I was gonna like interrupt her integrity, if that makes sense. Like I didn't want to disrupt her and her beautifulness. But yeah, I wanted this one to have a ribbon. I was surprised it didn't, so I taped it on the back of the last page and it acted out as a bookmark. So I'm gonna go to the last page I left off on and we're gonna see what's there. Okay, so these are excerpts from a book, because when I read, I like to take notes, and that includes like excerpts from the book, quotes, things that it inspired me to think, or you know, things that it reminds me of, music it reminds me of, songs that can correlate with that, or simply definitions and words I don't know. Because as a writer, you're always finding new words and you may not know how to use them because they're new to you. And how do you expect to learn something if you're not utilizing them? And a large part of utilization is writing it down, because your brain is going to remember. Your hand with pen to paper is sending signals to your brain, and your brain is going to send signals to you, and you're going to remember. So I like to do that with my journals. This is an excerpt. Paul and Zoe, girl, who are they? Who are Paul and Zoe, my love? Oh, you know what, you guys? This is actually from a movie. So I was watching this movie. I have it on DVD now because I really loved it. It's called Ruby Sparks. It's an indie movie. It has, I probably wrote down who is in this movie, because I love to write down the cast also, because if I'm writing about them, I need to know who they are. I can look that up right now, actually. I have it here somewhere for sure. The character Ruby Sparks is actually the writer, and I believe she's a director. Her name is Zoe Kazan. She's an awesome writer. This was also produced and or directed by Jonathan Dayton and Valerie Ferris of Little Miss Sunshine, and I love that movie. Have her on DVD too. And I think that was what stood out to me also about this movie, was that someone who can make such an honest, raw family movie can also make something that has to do with the sexualization of women. Okay guys, so I'm actually gonna look it up, what the characterization I'm talking about of Ruby Sparks. It has to do with a stereotype, and I am blanking right now. And I know after I did this movie, I did research online because I wanted to better understand the character and why Zoe Kazan was in this mindset when she wrote it. And I loved that a woman directed this, and you know, did she direct it? The screenplay is by Zoe Kazan, but it was directed by Valerie Ferris and Jonathan Dayton. So technically, yes, a woman did direct it. So I'm gonna read you what Google says. And by the way, if you're Googling something, always Google with -AI, which is just minus AI, if you don't want your search to come up with AI, because I fucking hate AI. We can't even do a Google search without AI. Like, who are we? Anyway, Okay, so it stars Paul Dano, who is a Little Miss Sunshine. I don't know why I forgot that. I love Paul Dano. This is from Wikipedia, which also I want to mention, although Wikipedia was always said to be misinformation, or could be misinformation because anybody can go and edit, I feel like now Wikipedia can be one of the truest sources that you can reach from, because real people are adding to it. And Wikipedia is independently funded, and they rely on donations. I've never donated to them, but I know that they rely on donations. And so now I'm more willing to take information from them in the age of AI that we live in. So this stars Paul Dano. It says, as an anxious novelist whose fictional character, Ruby Sparks, played by Zoe Kazan, comes to life, and his struggles to reconcile his idealized vision of her with her increasing independence. Oh, I remembered. Okay, let's put this away. So Ruby Sparks is basically an interpretation of what it is to be the manic pixie girl. And that is a girl who men sexualize and fantasize over in media. Think of Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and Kate Winslet in that, and the way that Jim Carrey's character wanted her to be this perfect version of herself, but he couldn't handle her encompassing emotions and what that meant to her and how it made her feel. A manic pixie girl to a man is, she's hot, she has colored hair, she's dressed as funky, her personality is different compared to other women, whatever that means. She can be ecstatic at times, but sometimes she is, because she can feel so much that when she's happy, she can also be really mad. And, you know, a lot of the time, men don't like that. Men don't like when a woman is herself in all the different kinds of ways, and that includes being fucking pissed off. So in this movie, Zoe Kazan does a really good interpretation of Ruby and who she is when she comes into her independence, because basically he wrote her down, he created a screenplay, or a character study, one could say, and she came to life. His pen was literally magic, I guess, because she came to life, and she was immediately in love with him when they met, you know, and he couldn't come to terms that she was real and that he made her. Motherfucker thought he was God, and he let that get to his head. And when she started to utilize her newfound independence by being alive and making mistakes that he didn't really like, he didn't like that, and he tried to literally erase her and take away her autonomy. And that is scary because men really do that. And so Zoe Kazan did a beautiful job with that movie. So I'm gonna read you a little bit that I wrote while in that mindset, because although I can talk about it now, I think it's best so you can see, I think it's best for you to see what I thought as I was watching the movie and after I was watching the movie. This also has to deal with like fembot culture. If you guys know about those kinds of sci-fi movies, they're always over sexualized, and it's so hard being a girl, man. Ruby Sparks, I wrote this on January 30th 2026, so I think that's why I stopped writing in this, because this came after the loss of a family member who meant a lot. And I think I was putting that energy into this book, and I didn't want to see it or use it anymore. But I'm going to read you one of the last things I wrote in here. Ruby Sparks, January 30th, 2026. Calvin has created Ruby without even realizing she's exactly like his mother. Freud would be proud. Calvin's mother is New Age, as his brother Harry mentioned. Before she was free-spirited and riddled with quirks Calvin finds uncomfortable, she was your run-of-the-mill Stepford wife type of lady. Probably because her identity was tied to her husband, Jack, who passed away some time ago. Her ability to actually have her own identity displeases Calvin. Calvin is Paul Dano's character, and seems to embarrass him too. This may be why he didn't want Ruby to meet her. Surely not because she is a real-life manifestation of his manuscript. But does his mom even have her own identity? As I'm writing this, I can't even remember her name, yet I remember her new partner's name, Mort. Mort, played by Antonio Banderas, seems like her other half. I mean that literally. I underline that. They are almost copy and paste male-female versions of one another. Is she really just quirky and a free thinker, or is her identity brand new and tied up to Mort? If I were to ask Calvin, he'd say no, and that she's brainwashed. I don't think he can see how much of a hypocrite he is. I really hate Paul Dano in this movie, y'all. He ain't shit for real. He's a good actor. If you make me hate you in a movie, but I love you IRL, you're a good actor. I don't think he can see how much of a hypocrite he is. After all, his girlfriend doesn't even exist. Not really, anyway. I am 57 minutes and 56 seconds into this film, and I can already tell it was directed by a man. Yo, white people are crazy. Maybe a self-aware man, but a man nonetheless. If I'm wrong, which I occasionally am, and this was directed by a woman, it was directed by both a man and woman. Okay, they're married. And this was directed by a woman, then I have to rethink the feminist movement and how white women have taken it over. I presume whoever wrote Ruby Sparks is white. I was right, y'all. This was before I did research. Okay, like the research is like the next page. I presume whoever wrote Ruby Sparks is white, which overrules it being written by man or woman. The entire lens of the film is through the eyes of a white person anyway. I will dive deeper once I'm done with the film, unless Calvin decides to tick me off in an annoying, brooding way again. Damn. So I have some quotes now. This one is from Calvin's ex, Lila, in the movie. The only person that you wanted to be in a relationship was you. Damn, he only wanted to date himself. Who else knows a man like that? I'm sure somebody else knows a man who would much rather date himself if he could. This is from Ruby to Calvin. I'm sorry I wasn't acting like the I'm sorry I wasn't acting like the platonic ideal of your girlfriend. Damn. Paul and Zoe were in a relationship for 5 years during the filming of Ruby Sparks. Calvin uses any dynamic where he has power to his advantage. He's easily offended and vengeful. Wow. So then this is a little note thing I wrote on Calvin. I really didn't like him in this movie. Calvin is pretentious and selfish even in his final act of setting Ruby free. Her freedom and erasure of the past they shared brought him his future success and respect. Him meeting her again at the end where she is a nameless redhead with a new, shorter haircut is proof he never learned his lesson. Karmic wonders have brought them together again, but we know how this story will end too. Boom, bitch. Oh, let me put my bookmark. Boom. Okay. The end of that movie is why you should watch that movie, because it'll piss you off the way it pissed me off, okay? And under the same breath of being pissed off by fictional characters, I guess I will show you the ideas I have for this one, okay? These are not well thought out ideas. These are just pieces of ideas that I want to get into. So I wrote this at 3:20 p.m. June 17th, 2026. And the title is Why I Hate parentheses can't begin to like close parentheses Rory Gilmore. An analysis. Rory Gilmore loses her sense of self in season 6. If you don't know anything about Gilmore Girls, what you really need to know is that during season 6, the original writer Amy Sherman Palladino exited the series for whichever reason. I want to say it was contract disputes or, you know, differences with the writing. And she entered again season 7, and season 7 was almost trying to catch up and fix what season 6 destroyed, but they flopped. So I really love season 3 because I feel like that's when the story was at its truest, most beautiful form. But this is in relation to season 6. That's when I was watching it. That's where I was when I wrote this. Some notes about Rory. She might be going through withdrawal. She's a chronic people pleaser and a chronic cheater. She stops talking to and calling Lane, ? Because that's supposed to be your best friend. Doesn't know anything about her tour, the biggest moment in Lane's life thus far. Yet is able to send back postcards to Lane from Europe. You couldn't even call your homegirl when she was on tour? Pick up that phone. She's lazy but wants to be a journalist. Is afraid of confrontation but wants to be an international war journalist. Let's be real. When the US is in a war, it's really us being imperialistic as fuck and trying to... we can get into this. I hate us calling them wars. No, we are going to other places and other countries and killing them and taking their resources. That is not a war. You never gave them a fighting chance. So do with that information what you will. Then I wrote this the next day on June 28th, 2026. Lorelai is suspicious of Rory seeing Jess at his work event. She questioned her because she knows her daughter is a cheater, and yet she fails to hold her accountable per usual. If you guys want me to get into an analysis of Rory and Lorelai Gilmore, specifically season 6 to season 7, I will most definitely do that for y'all because I think it'll be fun. Okay, those are just some thoughts I had. Finally, if you're not sick of hearing me talk and you're still watching, I appreciate you and I thank you for being part of Sandworm Files. This is the journal I'm currently using, and I carry her with me everywhere. She's always in my purse, in whichever bag I'm using, and I've been writing music in this one I feel the most. I think I've been more inspired by music recently, and I am not that good of a singer, but I've always loved to write music, whatever that looks like to me. Sometimes there's no actual form. I actually have never studied writing formats. When I did in school, they never made sense to me, because to me, you cannot place thought into a format and expect it to fall in line. A thought is going to do what it wants to do, and I'm going to write the way my thought looks on that page the way I want it to. So these are songs because I say they are. I'm going to show you one that I was working on this morning. This was written today, and it's not complete. A lot of the time these songs are not complete. They can be put together later, which I tend to do, but this is one that I'm working on now. I'm not gonna sing it because, like I said, I'm not too much of a talented singer. That is for me and me only. I do like to record my music on my phone and just save it to my voice memos. At some point I'm gonna get in the studio with my boyfriend, because on the other side over here we have like our music set up with our records. He has his microphone and headphones for recording, and it gets crazy. This turns into the studio, y'all. So maybe one day I'll get in the studio and share that with you, but right now I would just read to you what is on my page. I get lonely too. I get lonely here waiting for you. Darling, do you become lonely too? If it helped any, I'd bring you the moon. Walk up to the sky, grab a thing or two. Anything to see that smile, it's all for you. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. I love you so. So I think that's cute. Something I wrote a little after. All I gotta do is sing the songs. All you gotta do is follow along. Thank you if you're following along. A lot of the times I'll leave blank pages in between my songs, just in case I want to elaborate on a previous thought and continue it. I have a blank page to do so, and I'm not mixing up different streams of thought all at once. Sometimes it's okay to mix up your thoughts and leave it all on one page. I think that's beautiful. I scribble and do that a lot too, but I try to be as neat as I can with my music, so that way when I'm going back and I want to read it and sing it, I can actually have something that's clean and I can see laid out for me, and I don't get confused, because as you can tell through this video, I've probably gotten confused about what I've written, and so that's why I do that, just to kind of streamline the process. So this one I was working on June 28th, 2026. I think I wrote this while I was at work. A lot of the time I'm writing when I'm at work because it can be so slow running the shop, and to fill up that time I try not to be on my phone too much. If I am on my phone, I'm posting like on my photography page, or changing like the music in the shop, but I try to always read or write, and mainly write. I'm gonna share this one with y'all. I know you know I love the way you say my name. Baby, come on, stop playing with me. This ain't no game. You on top of me, me on top of you. It's all the same. This ain't no game. Baby, baby, a lover's choir or a thing we made from sorrow. Stop treating me like it ain't the same. Baby, sit down. Let's cry. Don't have no shame. You know that me and you together, we are sane. And I know you love the way I say your name. I'll yell it out to the heavens. Now we are saved. It's all the same. It's all the same. I'll share one last one with you. This one was stuck in my head all day yesterday, you guys. This has been stuck in my head for 2 days. So this one is like a rap. I write raps too, okay? Can I rap them? Yeah, you know, that's neither here nor there, and we're definitely not doing that here. So I'm gonna read it to you. This is from June 27th, 2026. Grow out of that POV. You know, I know you wanna come kick it with me. I know you know I love the way you say my name, Marie. Even better when you call me baby. Keep your patience, I might let you make one. A. Shake some. A. Grab my hips, now it's rotation. Hey. Left the function, now we rotating. Come on, baby, it's time. It's time. Come on and guide me through this tide. I keep it clean for you. You know you won't need anything but me. Now come and see about we. You know I need some. This is so funny to be reading. Now come and see about we. You know I need some of that chinny chin chin. I know you love my attention. Was that good? Y'all let me know in the comments. And if it was not good, go tell your mom because I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want any haters on my page. I said what I said, and if you didn't like it, I'm deeply sorry, because what did we say at the beginning? Human error is beautiful. That means if I fucked up a rhyme, if it didn't rhyme, if it didn't make sense, I think that's beautiful anyway, and it's music and it's a song because I said it is. With all that, I gather up my journals and I thank you for sticking with me as I went through them with you. I guess you could call this a journal tour of some sorts. I think I'm gonna title this video A Poet's Garden. Shout out to this little journal right here, my little baby. These are all my babies. I'm holding it like it's a Grammy or like it's a Pulitzer or something. Maybe I'll get one of those one day. For songwriting, obviously. But thank you. I want to actually genuinely thank you for sticking around and watching if you watched. I know I have only gotten a really small amount of viewers on this channel, and I feel like that's beautiful as fuck to me because this is a small community that we're creating together. Sandworm Files is a collection of me and my thoughts and my love and care for the world, and the way I interpret that love and care and put it onto a paper using a pen. I encourage you to pick up a journal and a pen or a pencil or a crayon and write something down. Write the first thought that comes to your mind. Write a question. Write an opinion that you have. Or create a song, or try to, like I am right now. With these works of art, I feel like I am being heard and listened to, and that's by myself. I feel like a lot of the time I was a people pleaser, or I wanted to be, like I said earlier, I wanted to be heard, I wanted to be listened to, not even just heard, listened. I wanted to be understood, and I wanted my words to be grasped and actually felt. And I feel now I don't need the approval of anybody else. If I like my work and I like what it means to me and what it represents and what it means coming out, you know, speaking it out loud, how it resonates to people, I think that's all that matters. I think all that matters is that I approve of it and that I love it, and that even if I don't love it, I wrote it because I wanted it to. And you know, during that time when I wrote it, I may have loved it, and I think that's beautiful. Human error is beautiful in the age that we live in. I encourage you, pick up a pen and write, bitch. Pick it up, pick it up, write something today, whatever that may be. And don't just type it on your phone. If that's all you can do, that's perfectly okay. But there's something beautiful about taking an actual instrument and writing with it and using it and seeing your work on a blank sheet of paper, and it doesn't become a blank sheet of paper anymore. It becomes a work of art. So I encourage you to do that today. Give your brain that signal to remember what your words are and what they mean and what they represent. This was Sandworm Files. I hope you guys enjoyed this more honest video. I think I'm gonna try to do this type of video more, where I just sit down and actually talk to y'all, because I think that's beautiful. I love community. I love creating community, and that's what I want to do with this channel. That's what I want Sandworm Files to be. I am Sandworm. These are my files, and I thank you for watching, and I thank you for listening. I hope wherever you are, you're having a beautiful night, a beautiful day, and I'm sending you my love always, and a hug if you need it too, and I'll catch you on the next one. Follow me on my socials if you want to see more of me, and if you don't, that's okay. Hopefully you'll want to check in at some point though. All right, take it easy, y'all. Bye.